Hello, Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. Have you been wondering what your attackers should be getting? Are you a new player and you need to know what trust masteries you should go for? You got some UOCs laying around that you could perhaps get some 5-star bases from, throw them in, exchange them for some specific units. Well, let's take a look and see what could help your attack stat. If you're looking for magic or spirit or defense or just general toolkits, I'll have those in different videos. But this one is based on just specifically the attack stat. So your physical DPS would like these gears. Okay? We're going to look at hats first. So units that you could UOC, use the unit of choice tickets, the select summon ticket, and get their trust masteries for the hat slot. We've got the three best that you could really get. This does not include 3-star base, 4-star base, or STMRs. Obviously, STMRs are going to be better, but we're going based on just trust masteries, just baseline trust masteries, okay? So we have Ice Demon's Crown. Ice Demon's Crown comes off of Mystic Ice Lastwell. It is a hat, just a normal hat. It's not like a helm or something. It has 48 attack, 22 defense, and 40 magic. Now, it just has, you can see that its stats are higher than the other two hats. It also has increase attack by 30% when equipped with the katana, so then you're going to have another 30% on top of that. And it has a baseline of increase ice resistance by 30%. So it's just the strongest physical DPS hat that you can get from a trust mastery. It's just great. The other two hats are options, but really the Ice Demon's Crown is really the meat and potatoes of where it's at. Okay, then we have Arden's Hat. Arden's Hat comes off of Arden from Final Fantasy 15. It has attack 40, which has 8 lower attack stat than the Ice Demon's Crown, but it has dark resistance 20% as opposed to ice resistance 30%. It auto heals per turn, it recovers MP per turn, and it increases the limit burst gauge per turn. So if you have a limit burst DPS that really has trouble building their gauge, or you're having problems trying to heal your DPS, or your DPS runs out of mana too quickly, Arden's Hat is perfect for that. It's still got a really good attack stat on it, and got some good passives to actually get you through a longer fight. Okay? And then we have Power Amplifier. Power Amplifier is Regina's hat, 40 attack. It's got some defense and spirit on it. And a lot of units use guns. If the unit doesn't use guns, obviously this hat is not for you. But it gives another 30% attack. So you get that attack 40 with another 30% attack. So those are the hats kind of in order for my suggestion for hats, just from UOCing hats. Okay? So let's look now into the armor slot. The armor slot. Okay. Moving on to the armor slot, we've got King Rain's armor. Now that is a heavy armor. There are many different kinds of armor, so you're going to have to base it on what type your unit can equip. So I have a heavy armor, I have 2 clothes, and a robe. Alright. So the heavy armor, I have King Rain's armor. That would be attack 28, which is pretty good. You know, most of them are around 30 for trust mastery, so attack 28 is pretty high. Defense of 45, so it's real chunky, and increases LB damage by 30%. So if you have a unit, say like King Rain himself, for instance, or one of the new, a Neo Vision unit like Tifa, and you really want to get the LB damage higher, this would be a great armor. I don't know if Tifa can equip heavy armor off the top of my head, but you understand what I mean. So it's increased LB damage by 30%, which is an extra stat. So if you're trying to LB damage an enemy, you should really look for gear that has LB damage modifiers on it. All right. Then we have Rufus Shinra's clothes. Rufus, coming off of Rufus, obviously, from Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's attack 30, defense 24. It's got a nullification to sleep, but you probably want null to everything, you know? But hey, null to sleep is alright. And then attack 30% when equipped with a gun. So again, we've got that conditional, but it's a really high conditional. So he's got a baseline attack 30, and then 30% when equipped with a gun. So he could actually greatly improve your attack stat if your unit uses a gun. Then we have Hyo's Clothes. Hyo's Clothes is basically the same, but for a greatsword. So if you equip a greatsword or guns, those would be two very good clothes options for you. Okay. Then we have Fryevius suit, which is a robe. This is more for like a hybrid DPS, but it's also good for just a general DPS if you just need a more generalized thing. So it has attack 30 and attack 10%. Now it does have the other stats on it. Magic and defense 1 and spirit 1. Those are just jokes. But it does have attack 30 and attack 10%. So already that's better than like say Hyo's Clothes or Rufus Shinra's if you are not equipping the Great Sword of the Gun, because it's got the 30 base attack and then an additional 10%. So that's nice. But it's also got light resistance plus 30%. So my favorite two would probably be either Fryevius suit or King Rain's armor, depending on which unit could equip those. Okay, so let's move on to the accessory slot. All right, the accessory slot coming at you. Okay, so the accessory slot, we've got Storm Kickers. Storm Kickers is from Esther. Esther has, it's an accessory with 45 base attack. You can see it's already tying with Colorful Lay for the highest attack there. But it has the increased LB damage again. So if you're LB damage characters right now, if you have any characters that do LB based damage, it's a really, really good stat to have. Okay. So it's really popular right now, and it seems to be like what's coming out of JP. A lot of things are going to be LB damage based for a while. So, look for gear that has that kind of stuff on it. All right, so it's attack 45, increase HP 20%, which is really nice, and it does have that LB damage. All right, moving on to Rush Glove. Rush Glove is an accessory with 40 base attack. 40 base attack, but it also has equipment attack. So the equipment attack, this is the first time we'll be seeing equipment attack in this list. Equipment attack is a different stat, so it modifies the equipment's attack rather than the character. So say an equipment has 40% and the equipment attack 50%, so it's giving you 50% on top of that. So it's no longer a base attack of 40. Now it's got a 50% higher base attack, and then it adds that into the calculation. And then whenever you have that calculation, it would base your normal like 40% attack and things like that. Equipment attack is technically stronger than base like attack percentage for how high it gets the numbers. All right. Then it's got increased LB gauge fill rate by 50%. Now 50% is okay. So whenever it gets a crystal, it's going to, instead of accounting for 1, it's going to count for 2, that kind of thing. And so the LB gauge is going to fill faster. So Rush Glove is actually really strong. Anything that has equipment attack on it is to be desired, because it'll give you a much higher value for that stat. All right. Just a roundabout numbers. If you have something that has plus 50% attack on it, you'll get 300 extra attack out of it. But if you have equipment attack on it, it'll give you like 700 extra attack. I'm just throwing that out there, but you can look up how it works. There's lots of articles, but this is for new players. I'm just trying to generalize. Okay. So then we have Onion Boots. Onion Boots have attack 40, also the same as Rush Glove. Recover MP 5%, so it has a nice passive MP recovery, and it has increased equipment attack when dual wielding. So the difference between Rush Glove and Onion Boots is one wants you to only have one weapon, but the other one, Onion Boots, wants you to have dual wielding, so it wants you to have a weapon in each hand. So depending on how you want to use your build, right now dual wield is stronger, but it's moving towards where single wielding is stronger based on the limit burst damage builds because they have variants. Okay, so then we move on to Colorful Lay. Colorful Lay is an accessory with 45 attack. So going back up to Stormkicker's value. It has passive 25% evasion, which is really nice. And then increase equipment attack 25% when dual wielding. So it's not as strong as Onion Boots because it doesn't have the 50%, but it does have 25% evasion. So if you're trying to do an evasion build as well, this could actually come in really helpful. So in the tank suggestions, I'll include some evasion stuff, and this will definitely make it on the list, but this is also really good for your attacker. All right, so that's the accessories. Let's move on to the materia. Materia is a little bit bigger of a list because you've got 4 slots for materia, and I don't know what you guys are working with, what characters you're thinking about building, so I'm just going to throw out some general suggestions. All right. So you have the Mightiest. Mightiest comes from Lone Lion Squall. It increases LB damage by 50%, again for that limit burst damage. Increases equipment attack when single wielding. Okay, 50%. So this is a fantastic trust mastery if you're an LB damage character. Fantastic trust mastery if it's an LB damage character. Gets the attack much higher value and modifies how much damage the LB itself does. Okay. Then we have Courage to Move On. Courage to Move On, which comes off of Cloud Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's just increased damage, increased attack by 60%. That's a really high value. 60% is really high. It helps you get to that cap a lot easier. The cap is 300%, by the way. And then increase LB damage, again, 30%. Really good. We like to see increased LB damage if we're using those type of characters. Now, with new units like Mazakura or King Edgar Figaro coming in, we have the Dragoon type, the jump characters, so I want to include a jump materia in the list that you could UOC really easy. So we have Hero's Vow Wind. It increases equipment attack, nice, when single wielding, so a spear. Increases jump damage by 75%. That's really high. That's really nice for a single equipment. And then increases LB gauge fill rate. Pretty nice. So if you're using a jump class character, then Hero's Vow Wind's fantastic. Dual form coming off of Radiant Lightning. Radiant Lightning has increased equipment attack 100% when dual wielding. This is massive, guys. That is a huge one. Your attack value is just going to go through the roof, honestly. Then we have Ace of Aces, which comes off of Star Player Titus. Star Player Titus is attack 30%, water resistance 30%, equipment attack 50% when single wielding, and passive LB gauge increase. So this has 50% equipment attack and 30% regular attack. Just fantastic. It also has passive water resistance and a little bit of LB gauge per turn if you have a long fight. Alright, then we have Advanced Weaponry. Advanced Weaponry is equipment attack 100% when single wielding. So it's the same value as dual form, but it's for single wielding. So between Radiant Lightning or Agent Olive, it's all about if you're using that one-handed weapon or dual wielding. Advanced Weaponry also has increased LB gauge 1 to 3, you know. Sometimes you might get 3 crystals, sometimes you might get 1, you know, per turn. Okay. Then we have Dark Knight's Knowledge. Dark Knight's Knowledge comes off of Dark Knight Luneth. It has increased attack 30%, increased attack equipment attack 50% when single wielding, but it also has physical damage against demons 50%. So this is a killer. Killers are different. I didn't include killers on this list because I want to make a separate video for killers, just so everybody knows that. Killers are super good for your DPS, but I want to make a separate video for killers. Okay. So then we have Phoenix Synergy. Phoenix Synergy is increase attack 50%. That's pretty high value. 50% is nice. Increase fire resistance 30%. And passive 5,000 HP recovery per turn. So if you don't quite have your healers yet, you know, you're trying to recover every turn, and it's just fights are just hard. they're just hard. You're dying too much because you can't get your HP back up. Phoenix Energy is great. You just basically heal the full every turn. If your character's not dead, they're at full life. So Phoenix Energy doesn't quite get your attack stat up there. I mean, it's attack 50%, which is nice, but it makes sure you stay alive during the fight because you're always healing back up. So it's nice in that respect. I wanted to include it on the list because sometimes your attacker just needs to stay alive. Okay, so those would be the materials. You have the Mightiest, Courage to Move On, Here's Val Wind, Dual Form, Ace of Aces, Advanced Weaponry, Dark Knight's Knowledge, and Phoenix Energy. Again, this is just my list. Do not take it as Bible, you know? So I'll get to weapons in a second, but I just want to re-go over. We've got the accessories of Stormkickers, Rush Glove, Onion Boots, and Colorful Lay. We've got the armor of King Rain's armor, Rufus Shinra's clothes, Hyo's clothes, and Forevia's suit. And the hats, Ice Demon's crown, really good. Arden's hat and Power Amplifier. Okay, and now we're going to take a look at weapons. Weapons are a little different. Guys, there's no good weapons out of Trust Masteries. I looked. They're just not there. So what you should do for weapons is just look in the trials, see what trials you can do, and do them. Get whatever baseline weapons you can forge or form or Trust Mastery out from anybody, and then go do some trials, because I can't in good conscience recommend any regular Trust Masteries whenever the trial weapons are so much better. So you got your Chamber of the Vengefuls. Those fights are a little hard. You might be able to do them with some guides. Shout out to my man Sinzar, who always makes some fantastic guide videos. You should check him out. Sinzar. He's on YouTube. He's got trial videos for literally every trial. So pick a trial. He's probably got you. And then you got Chamber of Arms. Chamber of Arms is actually, you could probably do it with a week-old account at this point and get some really good gears. Chamber of the Indignant. Chamber of the Indignant is in Chamber of the Fallen. You just toggle between the two. It's a little harder. Chamber of the Fallen is, I would start at Chamber of Arms, then do Chamber of the Fallen. Perhaps you can do Chamber of the Vengeful, maybe like the Egg Fight or something, and Chamber of the Indignant. Look for the weapons that are good for your specific character type, and try and start from the bottom. Don't go for the hardest fight, because that, that Dark Lord sword looks real good or whatever. That Cross Agion Arm Man from the Scorn trial looks really juicy. Start at the bottom, work your way up, Okay. So thanks everybody for watching this little video on Trust Masteries that you can get from your 5-star bases. You could UOC. These are based on attack. Look at my other videos on this content. I will see you guys next time. Much love. Peace.